just wish they was able to finish the race, because all those good cars was really going to go for it. The track was clean, it cooled off, speeds were going to pick up.
As they sung the national anthem, that plane came over just as perfect, and that plane was bigger than level cross here.
The ones that run up front stayed up front. From what I can pick up, the 6 car was the only one that really invaded the guys that was up front. You know, the 20 car, he ran good enough to win the race. Right?
But the 24 and the 54, he runs just good enough not to win a race that way, you know what I mean? Petty Museum and level cross race.
Back again, try it again.
Yep. Had a 400 lap race that run 2:49, and they were still 35 cars in the lead lap, so what else could you ask for?
How many cars was running? 35?
No, they started. I didn't know they started 40 cars. I didn't realize that.
I didn't either.
But there was so much happening with us. I didn't even hardly know the race started. You know, we
was trying to keep up with Indy, see what was going on there, and then about the time the race started, I had to go to a couple deals upstairs, to condos and stuff. So by the time I got through there, then they shuffled me over to see Donald Trump. So I went over there, and him and Childers was there, and talked to him a little bit. And then by the time I got back, where I could sit down and watch the race, I think they did run over 200 laps. So just about the time I sat down, lightning struck. So I didn't get to see any of the race. So how did you see the race? We're going to have to talk to you on that.
Well, I went to the condos early before the race, and I got back and was with Eric at the race car and everything as he was playing the national anthem and all that, and it was amazing to me that everything that went on before the race, Richard. You know, all the families that was there, honoring the soldiers, and every branch of the military was there,
which was really great.
And as they sung the national anthem, that plane came over just as perfect, and that plane was bigger than level cross here. And but you talking about the Indy race, we kept up with it on account of Kyle Larson, of course, but I got it in time to see the Formula One race, and I don't think nobody passed in it.
Well, we had a full day of racing till it rained, right?
Yeah, it was a good race, you know. The people that stayed up front, they changed the lead some, you know, and
the ones that run up front stayed up front. I guess from what I can pick up, the 6 car was the only one that really invaded the guys that was up front.
Yeah, he started 30th and wound up second. So looking at, just studying this, and we raced with Joey Logano a lot, and he finished 14th, and but the 43 car run decent, 42 car run good. I think he had a tire loose the last pit stop, and Jimmy run hard enough to get the lucky dog one time, and starting back there where they did, that's quite an accomplishment, the way
just to stay out of trouble, that's for sure.
And then of course
from what I can pick up, the 43 ran pretty good. He got up to 19th or 20th, started 30 something, and then he'd make a pit stop, then he'd be back 33rd again, and he'd done that 3 or 4 times. So
he was.
I don't think the pit crew helped him at all.
I had a radio, and I could hear him. He was really upset with some of the cars on the restarts, but there again, if you choose your line, if you get in the wrong line, it's bad. But he never wasn't, starting 34th where he did. He never was in danger of getting lapped or nothing. And but the same, I'm repeating what you said. The 6 car invaded the top 10 or 15, and the rest of them they just raced around. And then there was some mistakes on pit road, and the 11 bunch was really mad at somebody for blocking him in. I
think the 42, and then the 17, and then the 11, and the 17 kept coming in, and the 11 had parked first. Then 17 had come in and couldn't get all the way in the pit. So the back end of his car was sticking out.
Yeah.
So the 11 car couldn't get, just he had to back up to go around.
But the 43 pitted between the 9 and the, well, the 9 was behind us, and the 12 car, of course, he had trouble, so that opened it up for that. But when he pitted, he got in good, and it didn't seem to be that bad. But daggone, I don't believe it's more complicated now with pit road speed than it used to be when
When they were
we didn't
wide
have no
open.
speed, you know. And I guess where the difference is at, they bunch them up before they turn them loose to come in. Used to, but quick as the caution come out, pit road was open, you know. So NASCAR's controlling that now. So that's where the difference is at.
That brings everybody in at the same time.
Yeah. And but you know, used to be, you take a track like Pocono or something, if you was running third or fourth and the caution come out, you could come in and get your deal done before the leader got back to lap you if you was in the right place. And Travis Carter was really good at that. I guess we used it some too. But all that's like a lot of the stuff, it's gone away.
Yeah. But, you know, I just wish they was able to finish the race, because all those good cars was really going to go for it. And then the track was clean. It cooled off. The speeds were going to pick up. So, you know, you don't know how those cars were going to handle, how the drivers were going to handle the different speeds that they were running. So, you know, I'm sorry we missed that part of it.
Well, and here's another thing that would have been involved in that. Some of them was going to be short on tires if there's some more cautions, because they used a lot of tires. And
well, they was going to use more tires once the track was clean and green. They'd wear out that much quicker.
I'm repeating myself, but I sat on the 43 box, and they had already used their qualifying tires just because it was close to a stage, and they were gaining ground when the 21, you know, spun. And some of them stayed out on old tires, but they were looking at it was going to be, and I don't know where anybody had saved tires or not, but if it went back, you know, here we're using this word "if" again. I wish we could leave it out of racing, but tires was going to be a situation. Like you said, they was going to wear tires and they was going to give up, and if there was cautions, it would have been ugly probably at the end, but it would have been strategy again, I guess.
Anyhow, it wound up, and there was nothing anybody could control. You know, the 20 car, he ran good enough to win the race. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you can't take it now.
Right.
But the 24 and of course Tyler, and of course the 54, he runs just good enough not to win a race everywhere. You know what I mean?
But
and eventually he's going to win.
He's up and down. You know?
Yeah, but I wished our cars were a little bit better and a little bit more competitive, but we got we ain't got long to wait till St. Louis and see what they do out there.
Yeah, I guess that's where we're going now, right?
I think so. If somebody tells us where we got to be, that's where we'll be.
Okay. All right, we'll see everybody next week.
Yeah, buddy.
I felt for him, really, because he was trying to run both races. And he ran Indy, and by the time he got back, the race was over because of the rain. But, you know, at Indy, he ran pretty deep. He should have finished in the top 8 or 10 in Indy, but he done one of his trick deals. He got caught running too fast coming in pit road, put him a lap down. So from that standpoint, I think he was disappointed in his whole day, I think.
Well, if you want to compare, Justin Allgaier done a lot better than he done. He done better at Charlotte than he done at Indy, and then, but you know, Justin Allgaier done a great job.
Well, you know, I watched a little bit of it somewhere, and the deal is I don't know who was leading. They come up and lapped the 5
54 car was leading. I watched.
Okay.
I really
he
watched some of
led,
it this morning.
and then they must have said something because first thing I knew, the 5 car passed him back.
Yeah,
and got away from him.
Yeah, he got lapped and then unlapped himself,
Right.
and that
They still
was
wound up 15th.
13th.
Okay.
You missed it.
That's close.
You missed it again.
You know, I don't know about obligations, and the idea there that he'd already committed so much, and there was so much involved, monetary-wise, PR-wise, in the Indy race, that he really didn't have a whole lot of a choice. And just because he missed one of the Cup races, he still has won a race, so he's still eligible for the championship.
Yeah, there was so much money. I don't know where the most money was spent at, but I know they had to be a ton of money spent for the Indy trips, the helicopters and the airplanes, and if you
the race cars a little bit too.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I bet so. Yeah. Yeah, but it was. But they had a plan, and you know, they Justin Allgaier done a great job in the 5 car, but he runs Xfinity. He's competitive about every race. Don't cause no trouble. He's satisfied there. But they picked him probably on account of his size and the seat situation. So they had a
good plan.
they had a lot planned out, and it just didn't. The weather just confused everything.
You know, I don't know about NASCAR. You know, according to what circumstances, you got to figure that TV played a big part in this, because Fox had it planned for a certain amount of time, and they can't just stick them in anywhere they want to. You know, they can't cancel other programs in order to be able to run it another time. So, you know, I guess if we'd have stayed till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, they might could have run the race. But I know there was a lot of disappointed fans because the people went out when it started lightning and raining. They come back and sat down when it quit raining, and then there was probably 30 or 40,000 people sitting there when they called it off, and I think everybody booed that. I don't think that was a good decision for the fans.
You know, I'm gonna say going back several years, and I can't say how many, but probably in our day, they would have called it just as quick as the rain come, because they didn't have the drying of stuff that they got now.
Yeah.
And
but they would have had to.
Yeah, but Lord have mercy, how the blowers and the heaters and all that other stuff. It's amazing what they've done. Back when they used to try to clean our track off, they drug tires. That's all they had. Just tie a bunch of tires together and put them behind some kind of truck that would pull them and run till the track got dry. But it's over with, and like we're repeating ourselves, we're going to St. Louis.